Hello. Hi, Uncle Jorge. Thank you for joining the Zoom. Yes. Hello to anybody who's on the live stream and just watching. Thanks for joining. All right, I'll start us off with an opening prayer before we get into it. So please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents, Jesus, Tamonim, all of our good ancestors in the spirit world, good evening. Thank you so much for allowing us all to come together today from wherever we are to once again, every other week, talk about ocean providence in the context of your words, as well as analyzing it. I really pray that today, you can really speak through, the presenter and the presentation, and that we're all able to learn about ocean providence, but also kind of feel more motivated and inspiration to continue doing ocean providence as we move forward, especially with True Mother at the detention center. I really pray that every effort that we make can be offered up as a condition to lighten the weight on her shoulders and to also allow her to be released from detention. I really pray that as we do this call, that you're able to be with us throughout the entire call, be here with us, and feel inspired with us. We thank you so much for allowing us all to come together. I thank you. I pray this in my name, Chichong, a third generation member of West Central family, at Holy Mother Han, Amen, Adru. Okay. So today is just Hundoke. Or Hundoke / lecture. And we are basically going through different topics. And so if you are like a first time listener, people on the live stream, it might be a little confusing, but you can always go ahead and look at our channel and just read any other, listen to the previous lectures to kind of get a better understanding of what we're talking about today. So today we are going to be talking about introducing the providential context of ocean providence. So there's ocean providence, and then there's the general providence of God's, will, right? And kind of this part of the section, we're going to be talking about how ocean providence actually fits into all of that. And today we're going to be focusing specifically, especially about the unity of North and South America. So first, just to recap some of the key points that we made last lecture, our ultimate goals as a movement are to achieve world peace and unification. So naturally, Ocean Providence is also working toward that. However, we absolutely cannot have peace and unification without resolving the hunger issue. Though it may seem like a far-off problem, it's an urgent issue that must be tended to. And so Ocean Providence's main goal is to solve the hunger problem, and only then can we achieve world peace and unification that God and true parents desire. Now, just again, really quick recap, right? What are the goals of true parents, right? They are essentially world peace and unification. And True Father actually breaks down this goal into 3 specific subdivisions, which is 1, to tear down the walls between religions, which is the unity of religions, tear down the walls between races, or the unity of all people, and to fill in the gap between the rich and the poor, which is the resolution of poverty and hunger and equalization. And so you can see this is subdivided. So this goal is subdivided into religion, economy, technology, and political and racial issues that need to be solved. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because, and the reason why in general, we always kind of highlight these goals, right? Reiterating what the goals are for providence and movement is because understanding the providential goals is essential for us as a movement to be united in our own efforts, right? We have providential goals, but we also have personal goals because we're all individuals, we're all unique, we have our own paths. But what's key is that we align these personal goals with our long-term providential goals. So when we look at our movement, we have a lot of providential short-term goals, right? We have Vision 2027, Vision 2025, these different local goals. We have a lot of events that we have, and that we do a lot of things like witnessing and blessing leading up to these short-term events. And they're always within the span of like a few years, right? And to align to these providential short-term goals, we often make our own personal witnessing goals, right? How many people do I want to witness to by the time these events happen? Or, what things do we want to educate on? How much do we want to fundraise? But these are all short-term goals. But providence spans eons into the future, right? Generations into the future. And so it's important that we understand the long-term goal as well. When it comes to personal long-term goals, that's including things like family, right? The creating a family, public mission, and profession. But how do we connect our profession and these things to, a providential long-term goal, to providence, essentially? So we know that our end goal is world peace and unification, but it's very broad, very vague. So it's hard to be like exactly knowing how to connect there. And so in order to do that, we need to understand these long-term providential goals. And if we are clear about these long-term goals, then we are able to align our education and profession with these providential goals. And through that alignment, we are able to actually become a positive leader of society, doing things like political or academic or business fields. And so kind of to illustrate this with this image, right? Oftentimes, in our church with these short-term goals, it feels like our kind of path toward achieving world peace is very vague. And we say things like we'll witness to a bunch of people, or we want everyone to be happy, feel love. But these things, they're goals, but they're very vague, and it's very hard to define what it means to achieve them. And so what's key is having clearly defined goals, a detailed plan to actually achieve world peace and unification. And, through understanding these clearly defined goals, then we are able to actually connect our own personal long-term goals, like profession, into providence. And so a key thing, right, with connecting profession to providence is often we feel that, if we want to connect to providence, the only way to do that, the only path to do it directly is through things like witnessing or spiritual activities. However, there is both a spiritual and a physical aspect to our movement and the goals and plan that True Parents had. True Father says, I am the founder of this gigantic spiritual movement, but I am also laying the foundation to solve future physical problems of the world. Since I am so enthusiastic and have so many plans about the ocean, anyone who comes to the Unification Church cannot help but pay attention to that ocean. And so True Father says clearly there are physical problems of the world that also need to be solved in order to achieve world peace and unification. And this is where we are able to connect our professions and career. And so once again, looking at this quote that True Father actually gives, he clearly defines, so there's this large, broad goal of world peace and unification. However, True Father actually subdivides that into 3 very clear-cut defined goals that we can work to achieve. And through this, True Parents created clear plans to achieve each of these things. And Ocean Providence is largely this middle one, right? Filling in the gap between the rich and the poor through these different methods and plans, like method 1, which is distribute ample supplies of food at low cost, and method 2, which is providing technology to overcome poverty. Now, we're going to talk about this in a future lecture, but this right now is just to illustrate how True Parents did have a clear plan and a very clear idea of the direction and strategy to actually achieve world peace and unification. And kind of a good example, to showcase how one of these practical methods that True Parents had is International Peace Highway. Now, I'm sure many of you guys have actually heard of this, right? Peace Highway or Peace Road is still very prevalent today. But actually, this Peace Road is a very practical part of the system that True Parents had planned and created. So this is kind of just showing an image of True Father, right? He's presenting to members this plan to basically connect all the continents with this Peace Highway. And you can see he literally just outlined all of the continents, right? It seems simple, but it's this really grand practical plan to create a physical, substantialized connection and network through this highway. And so True Father says the purpose of the International Peace Highway, he says the International Peace Highway will rearrange the current inequality by creating access to existing natural and human resources. This will bring about a leveling of wealth. And in 1982, he also says, we must have a leading position in the oceans in the future. With my own hands, I will recover all the gold, silver, and treasures in the sea. After thinking about it, I've concluded that we have to dig a lot of tunnels. That is also why I came up with this highway project. So you can see how very clearly, this peace highway, this international peace highway had a very clear purpose and very clear, it was part of this very clear strategy to achieve, one of the goals, to achieve world peace and unification. That is the resolving of inequality. Now, when we talk about this plan, right? This plan is essentially providence. And what we're trying to understand through this part of the series is to understand exactly what is the providential plan, the providential strategy, and how does ocean providence fit into that strategy. And today we're going to be talking about how a large part of that practical providence and that plan that true parents carried out was in North and South America, which is the key point of today. So first, just some images of true parents, right? Investing in ocean providence in North and South America. Now, to understand providence, we have to look a little bit into our church's history, right? So starting in 1994, that's when our movement was actually established, and we were established under the name Holy Spirit Association of Unification and World Christianity. And that began the first 40-year course as HSA UWC, where the central responsibility of providence was true parents. In 1971, during this 40-year course, True Father arrives in the United States. In the midway point during this 40-year course, in 1974, True Parents start Ocean Providence in America. And from that point on, True Parents work for 20 years on Ocean Providence in America until 1994, when he establishes FFWPU, Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. And then in 1995, the next year, True Parents give the Sao Paulo Declaration, which was the declaration to start the second 40-year course starting from 1995. And this is also where the South America province began. And now this second 40-year course, you'll notice that we're no longer HSA WC, but FFWPU, right? The Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, and the central responsibility has shifted to blessed families. And this is explained in the Sao Paulo Declaration of 1995. True Father says, the second 40-year course officially begins March 31st, 1995 on the 36th True Parents Day. This is the period of our portion of responsibility, which has to be fulfilled on the level of blessed families, specifically focusing on second-generation blessed families. Blessed families have inherited True Parents' victorious vertical and horizontal foundation. Now, he says a lot more in the Sao Paulo Declaration, but to summarize, right, the Sao Paulo Declaration was essentially a deep, kind of just a broad explanation of the goals that True Parents had wanted to achieve during this 40-year course, which we are currently in right now. So according to the Sao Paulo Declaration, right, we are to establish a model ideal town and nation in South America. We are to unite North and South America through the North and South America unification movement. And True Father says, I will make a great move to the front line of South America from North America, connecting the Abel's blessing to the King realm. And then also he mentioned, right, Providence is now centered on second-generation blessed families. And the year right before that, December, right, leading up to the Sao Paulo Declaration, the beginning of the second 40-year course, True Father actually kind of gives this kind of hint, not really a hint, but basically telling the second generation that this was what it's leading up to. He says that all second generation members in the world must hear this, that Abel type second gen, true children, and Cain type second gen, blessed children, must unite centered on True Mother in this era, this 40-year course. And basically, essentially, from Sao Paulo Declaration, we can summarize in this one sentence: the providence in South America is bringing and extending into the Cain realm the victory and blessing of the Abel realm, which was established by heaven. Now, that's a loaded sentence. It's a little hard to understand just by reading it. So to illustrate, right, essentially what it's saying is that the United States, right, has this role as the Second Roman Empire, which basically has God's blessing. And this God's blessing was given to America to prepare to receive the second coming, right? We're very prosperous and we're also Protestant, basically the able of the Christian realm. And so we're meant to prepare all these great blessings that we have to receive the second coming, which is true parents. And through that, we're supposed to utilize this authority, this wealth, this blessing to unite the world under true parents by moving to South America. And by uniting that realm, we are then able to unite with the rest of the world. So just as the Roman Empire was prepared for Jesus Christ, the United States was prepared as the second Roman Empire to receive the second coming, true parents, and use its authority to unite the world under true parents. And so this move to South America is a very key point, right? The moment the second 40-year course started, true parents had moved to South America, largely. True Father says, on the foundation of the Sao Paulo Declaration, I will make a great move to the front line of South America. I've already announced that I'm leaving North America and will move to South America. I have downsized the organizations and agencies in North America, shifting the economic and human resources that were invested there to South America. And so he explains, why he did this transition. He says, the first 40 years of my life until now was a time of tribulations, centering on the developed countries in the Northern Hemisphere, as well as centering on the land. That is why for 20 years, from 1974 to 1994, I have been preparing for the oceanic civilization sphere in South America. I've been paving the way for the oceanic age to save all the countries within the tropical climate zone. And so to illustrate this, right, essentially, true parents spent those 20 years from 1974 to 1994 in North America, preparing Ocean Providence, right? He developed Ocean Providence for those 20 years, developing all these different marine resources and marine industries that America had. And then he's saying that he did this to save all the countries within the tropical climate zone, which means all of this foundation of Ocean Providence in America was meant for the sake of South America. And so True Father starts the South American Providence in 1995 at the Sao Paulo Declaration for this reason. And that's why he moves everything down to the South after those 20 years of working in America so intently. And this is showcasing kind of a part of this movement, right? Showing how true parents really were intending for this. So this is the South America Expo from the beginning of 1996, including countries Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, and Paraguay. And true parents presented the technologies from modern nations at the exposition and wanted to help develop the poor countries. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I couldn't see for a second. True parents presented the technologies from modern nations at the expositions. Oh, I don't know why I can't see. Sorry, 1 second. Hmm? Okay, sorry. Some technical. Oh no, wait. Oh no, come back. Okay. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Again, yeah, true parents presented the technologies from modern nations at the expositions and wanted to help develop, at the time, the poor countries in Latin America using all of the resources that they had developed and established in North America. So this shows, they were really trying to move all this foundation, all this economic and developmental foundation down to South America. And one of the things, right, true parents wanted to bring was the boat manufacturing technologies to South America. As you can see here, that was a big part of the expedition. And true parents also created an actual proposal to the Paraguayan government to create an ideal farm and share technologies from December 16th, 1994. Right, you can see here, just I'm not going to read all of it, but it says Reverend Moon has a mind to fully support the country, his investment in the capacity, ideal farms, and investing various technologies, donating 300,000 hectares of a selected area, right? Essentially, they had a whole plan, an idea to help develop these areas, right? That was their goal, to physically help these areas. Not only that, but another, showcasing of this desire to move everything and all this foundation to South America, right, is True Parents' direction in 2004. So Mr. Tadeo Sato was responsible for Ocean Providence in North America until he was transferred to South America in 2004. And on August 21st in Hannam-dong, True Father actually instructed Mr. Sato to build a foundation for a factory that can produce 120 boats per month in Paraguay. And on September 4th, 2004, at North Garden, True also instructed Mr. Sato to purchase a 550,000 pyong land near Asuncion and begin a boat factory as well as related businesses. And Mr. Sato actually immediately traveled to South America after this instruction for research and to establish this company called Aquamundo in the beginning of 2005. And so you can see, right, with the start of the second 40-year course, True Parents really tried to move all of the foundation of North America down to South America. But what was it all for, right? What goals did this actually achieve? Like, why did True Parents suddenly, doing all these things in North America, suddenly move down to South America, right? It's such a big change. But why did they do that? Well, this is for the sake of North and South American unification. And True Father says, now if North America and South America can become one through my efforts, then North Korea and South Korea on the Korean Peninsula can unify, and Israel and the Muslim world can unite. The unity of Europe will not be a problem either. This will happen all at once. He also says the prevailing culture derives from Christianity, and the leader in transforming modern society is North America. South America has opposed North America until now. If these two continents were to become one, they would form a great power base. If this were to happen, Europe, North America, and South America, and then Asia would naturally join the Christian cultural realm. That is why I must unite the cultural realm of Christianity in North America and South America, and then connect it to Asia. I need to unite Asia with North America and South America. Without doing this, there is no future. Her mother also talks about this, right? This unity of North and South America leading to the Korean unification, which is a big goal in our movement, right? True Mother's speech was given at the Korean General Assembly of the Youth Federation for World Peace on August 20th, 1995 at Changjung Arena, Seoul. She says, presently, countless young people and nations around the world, including those in Central and South America, are participating in our movement. In particular, the YFWP is actively taking part in efforts to foster collaboration between Protestantism and Catholicism and North and South America. I believe that these efforts will play constructive roles in bringing about the reunification of our homeland on the Korean Peninsula. And so to summarize and kind of visualize this, essentially the unification of North and South America is the key to unifying the Christian cultural realm, right? Because North America represents the Protestant realm, South America represents the Catholic realm. And through that unification of Christianity, we would be able to unify with Israel and Islam, because Christianity becoming united is such an unprecedented thing, right? Throughout history, for thousands of years, Christianity has been divided. But if that Christian cultural realm can be united, so too can the Judaism and the Islamic religions. And through the unification of those religions, we would solve a lot of the Middle Eastern conflicts, which are largely rooted in those religious issues. And through that, we would be able to also inspire the continent of Asia and their, ideologies to unite with the Christian cultural realm. And through the unification of, these Western and Eastern ideologies, we are able to solve conflicts with West and East, right? So including things like Russia and China. And by solving these ideological issues between West and East, we are then able to really lead up to that unification of the Korean Peninsula. So you can see how, True Parents' thinking was very strategic. There was a very clear end goal, but also very clear understanding of the different points during this plan that would happen, right? And all of this stems from the North and South American province, unification province. Your father says this will happen all at once, and without doing this, there is no future. This is the path to world unification that True Parents had come up with. And now, how do we unify, right? How does North and South America actually unite? The True Father says the issues that remain to be resolved during this century are the cultural gap between the East and the West, and the gap between the haves and have-nots in the North and the South. How can they be resolved? It is through my teaching of living for the sake of others. So living for the sake of others, that concept, True Father says, is how we can unite. But how does that get actually applied? True Father says, wealthy North America should live for the sake of its younger sibling, Latin America. North America should willingly sell its assets to help its younger sibling prosper. That is how both North America and South America will become places where God's ideal will eternally reside. And so, in essence, North America, which is the able, must live for the sake of the younger brother, South America, which is Cain. And through that actual act of living for the sake of another, this would, that would achieve peace and unification, right? This was the reason why True Parents tried to bring everything, all that foundation, all that blessing in North America down to South America. It was all for the North and South American unification. And so after North and South American unification, the question becomes, how does that then unite the world, right? What is the actual steps to bringing about that whole unification path, right? And the key to that is the Pantanal in South America and the ocean province. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So today next lecture. So today we basically essentially, are talking about the context of providence. And next week we're going to talk about how ocean providence actually fits into this context. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to that. Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. So now we can go into reflection time. So for 5 minutes, we can just reflect on the presentation, and then we can come back and discuss, for those of us who are on Zoom. And for those of you guys who are on live stream, you can feel free to stay and listen to the discussion if you want. Right. So I will see you guys back at 7:38. Hey, thank you guys for waiting. Okay, so Uncle Jorge, since it's just us three, if you have anything you want to share and say, you can. And we can end a little early today.
Well, if I talk, I start talking, we can finish in 2 hours. Because this topic it connect a lot with me because I was in Jardin in February 1995 when true parents, true family arrived to Jardin the first time. And I was in the declaration of São Paulo declaration. I was there. I was physically I was there. Also spiritually, and I witnessed so many things because you maybe you was not even born, right? You're
I
very
was not even a thought.
yeah. Two parents made a big ceremony in in San Pablo in that day the declaration, but no, somehow it's not in any book. In that moment, father was so upset about the Korean, Japanese, the Oriental guys with the Western guys. There was like a fighting each other for the Korean complain about the Latino, the Western, oh no, because they don't listen, they don't do it. And the Latinos say, okay, we cannot even share anything. And it was very interesting thing. And Truffaut separate all the people from the room. We're talking about 400 people, around 400 people. And there was Western and the Orientals. Like, we're gonna, and he was so serious. And I said, okay, you have to bow in respect because I born in Korea, but I am universal, embracing all the culture, right? And so you need to bow completely at the same time each other to unify things. And I witnessed this. He was so serious. And then his order, right? Kyombe, and then it was half bow from Korean Japanese with the order. So it was very interesting and incredible, right? Because then I started went to Uruguay. 1996. Father lived for 6 months in a row, like without leaving. So he's and I attend him in a hotel first, and then a boat. I was his boat captain for months. So we experienced so many things, and it was very interesting because also today I sent a message to Tasna and Lucas because we Uruguayan people we have a group of guys who fishing World Cup and they love Kodiak and we are gonna go to Kodiak in middle of August. It's kind of like a pilgrimage or something like that. And I don't know, you're gonna be in Ocean Challenge?
No, but I will actually be in Alaska, just not Kodiak.
Like Tika? You go to Tika again?
Yeah.
Tika. Okay. So we're gonna go Anchorage and then Kodiak. We'll stay 7 days in Kodiak. So I sent a letter today to Tasna and Lucas requesting to use the Good Go boat. So talking about cooperation between South and North, it's like a perfect timing for me. I hope they say yes. And North America. It's one of the things you have to be very careful because you were saying America, 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 America. And that's dangerous because you say America, but then they say South America, but that's not part of America. So which is America, North America, and South. You understand the concept that that's very gringo, right? It's very gringo. Everybody understand. Ah, let's make America great again. Yes, but United States is one thing. United States of America, USA, yes, but America is the whole thing. And then the central, they have a Central America, so North, Central, and South. So have to be careful with this because some people we maybe like can have some feeling like okay, it's a little painful, right? Because it's denied. Like it's America and this is South America. It's different. Anyway, we we witnessed that effort from true parents in first person with my own eyes. And then December 1st, 1996, true parents started a fishing condition in Uruguay, like with a 33 roll in the beach. Do you know about that? Okay. So to unify the whole America, no America, the North, Central, and South. So it's very, and then this year is very important because this year is 30 years of that condition. So 1996 is uh, the year that make 30 years of the black drum condition. So you may inspire people to come to Uruguay from this first week of December. And this is 30 years of this condition. And it continue doing. So it's a miracle, and it's the only condition they're still doing, the only activity to further start an Ocean Providence and then keep doing until now. And then the plan is keep doing, right? Because so many other programs they stop, but that condition is 30 years doing. So it's touched my heart. I don't know, it's a little painful because you make so much effort to prepare and nobody show up, and it's a very interesting that this video is being recorded in the streaming, really recorded, because
Yeah.
it's so nice information, so nice, and then you make so much, so beautiful offering, they make so much effort. You can watching a K-pop, Gangnam Style, I don't know, whatever you like, enjoy, but you are doing this and not too many people uh, use that effort, that offering. It's very painful for me to watch because this room should be like 2,000 people. And then appreciate your work because it's so much in this 30 minutes of Hondoke, it was like hours of work. Every picture, everything, the hour of work. And so I congratulate you because you make a big effort. I apologize in the name of all Ocean Providence and can feel the pain of true father. Actually, your grandfather was appointed to make the fishing tackle stores in South America. You know, right? And it was four countries: Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Make a tackle stores, and he was. I have still the picture of him was touching his head and said, "Put these things," and then selected right people, and I was selected for Uruguay. you can ask Minoru Kayama. He was there with him. And yeah, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay has another people, but we couldn't sell one hook. We couldn't do it. But the order is there and still uh, could be some with good condition to do too. Anyway, today was very interesting day. But thank you for the Hondoke, and I hope Tasna and Lucas touch his heart, and it could be a little cooperation, a little help with Ocean Providence South. So you're gonna be with the hatchery in Stika
Yeah, I'm gonna be working where I interned.
for how long?
Just a year.
1 year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot. Yeah.
But it is because you study or that's a job?
It's job. Yeah.
I see. When you go?
Starting June.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna be around close, but not too around.
Yeah.
We,
Maybe
we,
I'll try to find a way to visit Kodiak since it is in the same state. So,
oh, really? We are gonna be 2 days in Anchorage and
oh.
7 days in Kodiak.
Mhm,
So for 14, we have already the airplane ticket. 14 August to 20.
mhm.
So we can fish. How do you fish? Did you fish?
I didn't because I didn't buy the license, but I think when I go work there, I probably will.
Did you try fly fishing?
No, I watched people do it though. I watched.
But it's good. Even True Father said it's for no what? A male like a CC guys. He
Oh,
was
really?
he doesn't enjoy too much. But I have a good friend, and it's part of the hobby world, right? Like a fly fishing, and we are gonna be on the boat, but mostly fly fishing. The people are crazy about that. I saw one guy 14 hour in the same stream, catching a release, not get any like cut hundred of fish and then don't and release all.
Mm,
It's very interesting mindset of. So if you go in middle of August, you can see each other.
yeah.
Thank you for the honor, really appreciate.
Thank you, Uncle Jorge, for coming. Yeah, I wished more people came, but that's the goal we're trying to achieve eventually, that more people are coming. So, yeah, thank you for listening.
If it's recording, you can share, right? Like we can share, and then they can see in any place. So what's the idea? Like you are gonna be with hatchery, involved with hatchery worldwide or Pantanal? Or what's the future of go to Stiga?
So the goal for me, like in America right now, is to
North America,
develop my skill sets, just to
North
get all
America.
the information and learn how to do all this stuff professionally, and then eventually I'll probably go to South America or Africa and then use whatever I learned there.
Mm, mhm. Interest, yeah, because you say America again.
Sorry, yes, North America.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting, like a hatchery for me is and I've been in the last week, I've been studying about this, the reproduction, and they say they they go lower reproduction. They're not unfertile,
Hmm.
but this they they was very low because chemicals. The when they put the egg in the when they fertilize the egg, they put some chemicals to don't reproduce like the natural raised salmon.
Hmm.
So I I hope you can have a good development of skills. It's not that simple, but it's not impossible neither, right? Did you went to hatchery in Kodiak?
I no, I didn't get a chance to do that.
Why? You went, right? You went to Ocean Challenge,
I did, but I didn't go to any hatcheries.
but it was a part of the program when I was
Really?
captain. Yes, I have
Oh,
million.
it wasn't part of the program when I was there.
I have million of pictures. I went so many times, so many times.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow, it was like not a thing. That's so interesting. That would have been
No,
cool.
for night for us, it was very important part because not everybody can grab a fishing rod and then fish. Somebody has to take care of the balance of the fish, especially salmon, because the salmon come back on the stream you release when they grow, right? So they remember that river. So it was they was explained like with the government and the tourists. They will say, "Oh, how many fish you want in basking? How many fish American?" And they planted million of fish, and people pay. Like a government and people, like an association, pay a lot of money to hatchery to release those fish because they will have a tourist in 7, 8 years. The fish will be there and then we can fish for fishing. So we went so many times. I can share like 2,000 pictures. Those hatcheries. It was very serious in Kodiak, very serious. Also the lakes. I was very interested in. I don't know in Pantanal if you know, but they also raise fish, but it's a very small level. No like millions on Pantanal. God bless you. God bless your mother. I know she's behind the wall.
Yeah, I'm here. I just don't have a camera. Sorry.
It's okay, but God bless you because you have an amazing daughter.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
so
she
much,
is.
Uncle Jorge.
So keep doing and try to persevere because this is the way. This is the way, and you're gonna be so blessed because of that.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can end then. Unless
Um,
Opa, you had
yeah,
something
can
you
I
wanted
say
to share. Yeah.
just one thing? Yeah. Uncle Jorge, it was really amazing to hear your experience from the Sao Paulo declaration. I didn't know you were, oh, it's the teacher from Mom Talk. Nice. Yeah, no,
Just
I never
randomly,
heard.
just randomly. They
That's
weren't.
ooh, so nice that you're wearing that t-shirt. Um, yeah, so I never heard the like a firsthand testimony from that actual day, which was very interesting. Like you talking about the separating to two sides and they have to bow each other. That's very interesting. Like I wish to hear, maybe one day you can do a testimony for us or something.
I mean, it was that. It was so serious.
Hmm.
It was so uh, disappointed actually. And
Right.
so many things we witness, and there is no you cannot read it in any book, right? Because they they choose some words and they will say, okay, no, let's not put this on the book on the history. But this I saw it with my eyes. I I wish some leader will say, no, you was not there. I was there and I saw that, and it was no matter woman or man, right? Like if you have the eyes like this, you go one side of the room, and
Mm.
it was Rona West people, another one to the room, and then bow. Be careful with the same time. At the same time, Kiambe, boom, bow, and stop these things, and then embrace each other and work together. It was very serious, serious time. But you cannot see it in any book.
Mm.
But we witnessed so many other things too, right? Like it was for the São Paulo Declaration.
Wow.
Somehow I end up there, and
Mm.
it was interesting. It was interesting because we are not, they're not better or worse. Or, that's for sure, right? Like we are the same people, same. We have the same red blood, or more or less. So if it's even black, or the color of your skin, or the shape of your eyes doesn't define you like a daughter or son of God, right?
Right.
I
That's,
saw that.
yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, that is
Mm.
really interesting. Mm.
And it was nothing to do with Ocean Providence, right? Because it was in San Pablo. It was
Mm.
in the main building. It was like a fifth floor. So it's like it was city, but it was very, very strong, the start point for Providence. That was
Mm.
the same, in the same year the father went to the first time in Jardin, right? Uh, it was 1995. I have a picture. Actually, I'm working in a PowerPoint for my life
Mm.
because because Takahashi, you remember Takahashi-san?
Yeah, Mr. Takashi. Yeah.
Captain Takahashi, uh, he passed away, and
Mm.
the pastor of that area, he was arriving 1 week before he passed away, so he couldn't meet him. And then in the Songhua, he went to talk about him, but he never saw it. So it was very a little painful, like a guy with so big trajectory for years,
Mm.
and the person who talk about him, he never meet in person. So
Mm.
I said, I don't want this for me, myself. I start to do it on my own Songhua. And I have so far 330 pictures and videos.
Wow.
And believe me, 300 are for True Father.
Wow.
Not just my life. It's my life with True Father because I'm not nobody, right? Like my testimony is attending to parents. So I'm working on that. I still doesn't have any plan to die anytime soon, but for
Mm.
sure I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna leave some PowerPoint and video explain some pictures and some situation. And then it was March 31, 1995 was so many pictures, and it's part of my history.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to make like a slideshow of your own life. I think so many first gen have like so much just like important or like really precious like testimony that I feel like they don't get to share. So I
Yeah.
think that's really good that you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, some people say, "Oh, you should make a book." Nobody gonna buy a book from an idiot from Uruguay. But if you say a PowerPoint explaining a YouTube video and then upload it, my grandchild will be watching me like I'm talking, and I don't know, maybe they say, "Oh, look at my grandfather was like that, and it was is having this experience." But also some people in 1,000 years, some people from even Uruguay or worldwide, they will say, "Oh, this guy lived with the Messiah," and right? Like we we was very close, right? I have million experience with True Father, like very intimate with True Parents, actually, right? Where we was eating McDonald's, and then you eating two combos because they bring 40 combos, and it was 15 people, 12 people, and then you are eating two, and then True Mother come with another. Did you want one more? And then it was like, wow. So you was so full and still eating because you cannot say no to much. So it's kind of this histories. It cannot be lost. It cannot be lost. And I'm doing in the most pure way to offering, and somebody can see like this Hondoke, right? It's so deep, somebody can watch, and hopefully it's not gonna get waste. They can see during the week and make some comment or something. Thank you very much again. Okay,
Thank you, Uncle Jorge. I'm glad we got to hear some of your own personal experiences too. That's really cool.
I have a lot, but we are not gonna
Maybe
I
someday we can hear from you though. I think that'd be cool.
I am bad with talking a bit in public, like this is 20 people, and then say, well, uh, I don't know. Y- I'm happy to witness this Honda game today.
Thank you, Uncle Jorge. And also thank you for the America comment too. I think I will keep that in mind. I think that's good to be aware of for myself. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I think we can end then. Does maybe Uncle Jorge or Oma, do either of you guys want to offer an ending prayer for us today?
I don't know. I talk too much today.
Okay, maybe
Actually,
Oma?
Sure. Okay, let us pray to end. Dear Heavenly Parents, true parents, good evening or good morning, wherever we are. Thank you that we could have this session for a deep dive style hundoke of our true parents' words, especially on Ocean Providence and the historical context behind it. Hopefully, we can reach many people eventually, and we will continue to do the work based on our true parents' strategies and plans and words, and always want to go the way that makes you proud, and always go the path that is right, and um, we pray constantly for your mother, but at the same time, we want to offer whatever we can every single day. As we go throughout every day, we want to say that we have progressed or did something for you or the world, and move on like that. So please guide us every single day. And thank you once again for this session. We pray all these things in the name of my name, and also in Holy Mother Han's name. We pray all these things. Achu.
Jude. Jude.
I
Thank you,
should.
Oma. And thank you, Uncle Jorge, and any viewers on the live stream. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye. Have
Bye
a good rest.
bye.